Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Animaking 3. First of all, if you like to support me and the channel, my PayPal will be in the description, so thank you very much. I'm back with a brand new episode of What If Naruto Had Momoshiki and Ishiki Karma Seal, guys. Remember to get this one too. 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, remember if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, yes I indeed have 3 more channels which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. I also post a brand new episode of What If Naruto Had Frieza Potential and Personality, so go ahead, check out that and enjoy guys. So without further ado or wasting any more time, let us begin this brand new episode, shall we? Start the intro. So, to do a bit of a recap for the last part that we left off, everything was supposed to be normal, but things took a drastic turn. Menma Namikaze was rushed to the hospital as the medics around him were frantic, panicking, because Menma was in a bad state. Mito was unconscious. Sasuke had a concussion. All of the children were beaten severely. Shikamaru, he had a light bump on the head, but he was able to give a detail of what happened. They wanted to know which one of them was stronger, Naruto or Menma. Menma was always boasting about his strength in one way or another, so many were curious, and Naruto seemed to be rather calm about most things. However, when the battle began, Menma realized that he could not touch Naruto physically or mentally. Naruto started to affect Menma mentally with his words alone, without even touching him. Naruto then started to beat the living hell out of him. Menma lost control and performed the Rasengan. Mito tried to stop him, but Naruto grabbed Menma's arm and broke his wrist. Naruto's blows were so heavy that they caused internal ruptures inside of Menma's body. Mito tried to grab Naruto with her chain, but one hit knocked her out. That is when Sasuke rushed in and got dropped. The others tried to stop Naruto, but he dropped them all. He then stepped into Menma's face, pummeling him, breaking his arm. Menma was battered, beaten as Naruto treated him like he was absolutely nothing. He wasn't going to stop. Lucky enough, Minato intervened, arriving after feeling the sensation. Back to the present time, Naruto was locked away. His father came there pissed off at him, but Naruto showed no remorse. It did not take too long for Kushina to come, cursing at him despite the past. What he did was unforgivable. What he tried to do was even worse. However, Naruto made it blatantly clear to her that her opinion of him doesn't really matter because he doesn't really care that much about her in the slightest. She left as they started to debate on what they must do. Fukaku Uchiha and the other elders and the council members were there. Danzo made it rather clear, if this was anyone else, they wouldn't have been talking this easily. Something has to be done. Jiraiya was called back to the village. Minato wanted Naruto to be brought to Mount Miyaboku. Minato could not exile Naruto. He was afraid, yes. He was afraid that Naruto was tied up in the prophecy. But when Naruto got there and The great elder Toad laid his eyes on Naruto. He was terrified. He told them that they need to get rid of the child immediately, that he was a problem. It was in their best interest that they kill him right here and now, but Jiraiya bring him back instead. The Toad told him that he was going to regret it. He was going to severely regret his actions. She came by, Ayam, wanting to know where Naruto was. However, they made it rather blatantly clear that this was not gonna happen anymore. Speaking about their, relationship, their friendship, as Naruto would be going away, she was angry, making her tone rather vocal to even the Hokage. But he made it clear that she needed to fall in line. He was their leader after all. Even her father was trying to persuade her that she needed to distance herself away from Naruto. Given this whole situation, she really needed to distance herself, as things were gonna get bad if she did not. Minato had to make a choice. Yes, he had to make a very dangerous choice, because if he did not, things were gonna take a turn for the worse. Something has to be done. He spoke to Kushina that night. Seeing the state that Menma was still in, something must be done. He would be there to supervise, but they could not allow Naruto to go out in the world like this. They had to learn to control him. Thus, he was taken to the best person that would be able to break and control his mind. Minato would do whatever it takes to protect his family and his village. Thus, Naruto was taken to Danzo Shimura. Operation, they call it. Ayam demanded to know where he was, but her words fall on deaf ears. She would not get a single thing. She was unaware that she was being watched. A young man with white hair. He summoned a snake and sent the information back to his master. A future helping hand, he supposed. So yeah guys, basically as we left off, you guys can switch across and please check it out for yourself. So yeah, let us begin this new episode. We begin this episode with Menma back on his feet, fully recovered. It's been months since the event that almost claimed his life. Menma looked down towards his hand. He was on Team 7 now. Sakura Haruno and Sasuke Uchiha, their sensei, was Kakashi Hatake, someone he knew rather well. Him and his sister were usually together, but they were separated. She was placed on another team. Despite it being months now, Menma was still traumatized, and it shows. His mother, she wanted him to go to a therapy session. Again, it wouldn't be the first. The event had really scarred Menma, waking up at night screaming. The whole thing had been overwhelming. Menma told himself again and again that he wasn't afraid of Naruto. He wanted to prove it, that he wasn't afraid of him. That he wasn't afraid. But since they were younger, where Naruto clamped onto his hand and started to absorb his chakra, he was afraid. Afraid to be in the same house as him. Afraid to be near him. Thus, when he fought Naruto, believing that he was stronger, when the blows came, the dreams also follow as well. Even after fixing up and coming out of the hospital, night after night he dreamt Naruto appearing, attacking him. He vented his frustration to Inoichi, one of the best therapists within the village, who was helping him. Menma had come a long way. A long way for him to become a shinobi. It shows that he'd grown. since the event. One event could be so drastic on his mind. But Naruto was no longer going to be a problem. His father assured their family they will never see him again. There wasn't much questions that were answered, but they should feel safe in knowing that they were safe. Mito was just like her brother, knowing that Naruto was a threat that had to be contained, while Menma would have liked to hear the whole truth. Perhaps not knowing was for the best, because it would drive him crazy to know exactly where Naruto was. But he had to move on with his life. He was now a ninja of the village. He had to get back. He had to move on. He wasn't going to be a whiny baby for the rest of his life. Screw therapy. Screw being afraid, he told himself. He was going to overcome this, like everything else. Meanwhile, she was spacing out. It's been months. The Hokage made it clear that she would never see Naruto again. The dread formed in her heart. She believed that she couldn't even say the words. She had no idea where Naruto was, even if he was still alive. Yet, there was this sensation that she felt. Call her crazy, but she believed that he was still out there somewhere. Still somewhere alive. But the mere sight of that family, the mere sight of them all, made her feel disgusting. After all they did to him, and now, what they've done with him, she hated them. Despite being within this village, she hated the Hokage. This had led to many arguments with her father. Despite her still loving her father, he doesn't understand. He just doesn't. She sighed. Another normal day as she made her way, getting back with some groceries. She was spacing out a lot today. The time was getting late. She felt something behind her, because the person wanted her to know that he was there. Don't turn around. However, Ayam wasn't a soft person that was going to back down quickly. But this person was quick as he gripped her hand from behind. I said don't move. What do you want? She said. He's alive. She paused. What? Your friend, Naruto. I know how much you care for him. Who are you? She said. That's not important. I just want to know one thing. Would you like to see him again? Of course I do. Where is he? He's currently bound and locked away. They're treating him horribly. Like a monster. Like some sort of demon. To think that his own father is allowing him to be abused day in and day out. I wonder if his mind will still be intact when you indeed find him. Don't you dare underestimate him, she said. Naruto is strong, he will never break. Even as she said that, her tone trembled, concern in her heart. The person behind her smiled. Good, he said. Because you will be able to free him. Me? She said. It doesn't have to do with you being a civilian, or nothing to do with you being a ninja. It has to do with you being the only person in this village that he truly gave a damn about. So you shall be his salvation. You shall grant him freedom, even if that means him leaving the village. What? What did you expect? Do you really think that he would be safe here? You have no idea what they're putting him through. Experiments. Torturing to see his resistance. You know that he's powerful. You know that he's special. They want to see how far he can go before he breaks. You must be wondering what kind of father would do that to his child. Well, your so-called Hokage. So my question stands. When the time presents itself, will you be there to help him be free? Of course. He's always been there for me, looking out for me even if I don't know that I need it. I will help him any way I can. Good. She turned around as she no longer felt the hand, but the person was gone. On top of the building gazing down was Kabuto Yakushi, a smile on his face. Flashback. Orochimaru was involved in the catalyst for Minato learning that Naruto was indeed powerful. The Sannin wanted Naruto blood. It was the Uzumaki traits. To see the connection. What he never expected was for the boy to be special. His spy dwelled within Konoha for the longest time now, watching, tracking Naruto, observing him, learning his weakness, his flaws, seeing his connection with Ayam. Kabuto was a very good spy, and that was clear. There was no doubt about that. But it wasn't just that. The boy was different. Starting from the tattoos, seemed to be some kind of trait that ties into his bloodline. While Kabuto wasn't there on that day, he was there when the fight happened between the children, and he felt the power. All of that was sent back to his master. His previous conversation with Orochimaru went a little like this. Kabuto was reporting everything in. What shall be our next move, he questioned. Orochimaru sat within his throne, knowing that if he was caught in Konoha, especially by Minato, things wouldn't be pretty. Orochimaru looked rather amused though. I never trusted Danzo to begin with, but he think he can play me. The Sannin said. Since Minato rise, Orochimaru and Danzo had been connected. Danzo was fully aware of those children that were within Orochimaru's grasp. In fact, he handed over a few of them. The experiment was going well until things took a drastic turn. Danzo was aware of a lot of it. Even now, they've been in contact. It was simple. The both of them had a goal. To kill Minato Namikaze. Since Minato gained full power, with Hiruzen no longer being around, there wasn't much that Danzo could get away with. So it was in their best interest to get rid of Minato. But a feat like that wasn't easily achievable, especially with the backing of the Uchiha by his side. Going after the Uchihas now would lead to an investigation that would lead to a lot of problems. So this was bad. Yes. However, despite the time that has passed, Danzo hasn't said a single word. Not a single thing about his new, trainee. But Orochimaru was going to take the boy for himself. The resentment, the hatred, the neglect, all of that. They can try to bury it, but Orochimaru will dig it up. About this Ayam girl, the Sannin said, already planning how to use her for his favor. Perhaps her death would be the catalyst for Naruto gaining awareness once again. Because Orochimaru was quite aware that when it came to breaking people, Danzo was a master in that area. But this girl, she was important once. She was still important. He will find a way to use her. Go to her. See just how much she cares before you step in. He told Kabuto. The Sannin was thinking, from what he got, if this boy was indeed that special, he can use Minato's own son to bring his demise. He was already gathering forces. There was so much people that wanted Minato's downfall, along with the fourth Kazekage. Then again, the man was starting to behave reckless, cowardly about the situation. Orochimaru has to ensure that he remain in line so that his mission would be a success. Time skip. Back to the original time at Konoha. Minato Namikaze walked down the hall, a root ninja leading him down there. When the door opened up, Danzo was waiting on him. "We've made great progress," Danzo said. "Both of them fall in line." Minato was here to see how things are, arriving towards a room. They were on a much higher level, as they were gazing down towards the room. On the inside was Naruto. He's grown somewhat in the past couple of months. Nothing too drastic though. However, it was his eyes. They seemed so hollow. They seemed so empty. So lifeless. Like there was nothing behind them but a soldier waiting for his orders. A lot has happened in the past few months. As Orochimaru himself stated, Danzo was a master of breaking people. Minato wanted to know everything. Danzo wasn't given a moment alone in peace. Checks, surveys. Minato wanted everything to make sure that Danzo was not creating a weapon that he think would be fully under his control. That was not gonna happen, and Minato made that clear. Moving against him or the village, there will be no talk other than execution. Minato told himself that this was for the best. The Toads themselves saw what Naruto is, the great elder Toad demanding that they kill him to show how serious the situation was, but instead they would use him. Danzo pressed the monitor. "Let us start demonstration 1, he said. As movements start to happen, but Naruto remained where he was, in the center of the room. "Begin," Danzo said. It started with a fireball. Naruto held his hand out and absorbed the technique. Divine. Absorption and recreation. Danzo said. He's able to absorb any jutsu that we've thrown at him so far. He's able to release the attack, but not like any normal attack. Release, Danzo said. Naruto held his hand out. The fire emerged into a twisting tsunami, mimicking a water tsunami, twirling and rising, burning the platform in front of him. Truly impressive. His body is like a conduit, absorbing, but instead of just simply redirecting or redistributing, it is able to manipulate the molecules of the jutsu within to release it at a much higher quantity or to produce a different, lasting effect. Move on, Danzo said, as Minato watched, remaining quiet, observing all the new, powers that Naruto seemed to produce. All of this was truly astonishing. Naruto held his hand out and created a spear. It was red. Red chakra weapons. He's able to produce his chakra in solid form, beyond any solid chakra construct that I've ever seen. A simple strike won't even disturb it. Said Danzo as kunais and shurikens were tossed at Naruto. He deflected them all. But not only that, reshaping of this weapon at his will as Naruto turned it into a shield. Move on to the next phase, Danzo said, as Minato remained quiet. The machines fire at least 10 kunais at once, and there was around several machines. Minato looked cautious for a moment until Naruto dodged all of them without even looking. He's able to slow perceptions of things around him, His mind is operating on a much faster level than I originally believed. Minato was more intrigued than ever before. Danzo called for them to move on to the next phase. As Naruto removed his shirt, the tattoos started to glow. A massive construct was dropped on Naruto, weighing so much pounds, but Naruto held it up with one hand. The damage that he was able to do on your son, as stated from the medical report, the physical, traumatic force. His body is now operating on a level at least 10 times stronger than what it was. These marks are a beginning form of his evolution in power. The stronger he becomes, the more they intensify in their glowing. As you can see, the ceiling was amplified, allowing the weight to weigh even more. But Naruto simply used two hands. Throw it. He threw it across the room. Minato was shocked. You could clearly see it on his face. Truly impressive. Now, the most impressive part. Show him. Naruto turned to face the one-way glass to him and activate his eyes. A special dojutsu that has never been seen. All of these studies going back to years upon years. And I've never seen or heard of something like this, Danzo said. Truly magnificent. The eyes seem different than when Minato saw them. The abyss, a deep, abyss-like space, flickering with golden dust like stars in the far distance, as they shimmer like stars in a galaxy all over. The iris had 3 rings that were overlapping one another, moving across slightly, but never reaching the end around his eyes. Just there in the center, the 3 rings interlock around one another, moving slowly around. They seemed like they were expanding, but they were never expanding. The 3 rings were gold, as they stood firmly on the black abyss of the outer layer of his eye, because the entire thing became black. However, the iris that was supposed to be there, not going all the way around, seemed to be made up of these rings. And what seemed to be the pupil was 6 pointers pointing around as they were inside of the circle. Minato was intrigued. His eyes, they've developed since coming here. The rings and the pointers, the numbers have increased. I believe that this is a trigger to his growing strength. We are not truly sure exactly what these eyes are capable of. However, on a visual standpoint, his eyes process information faster now, beyond anything that I've seen so far. Physical strength attributes. He's a peak performing of a shinobi, hours before growing tired, days before needing sleep. Truly magnificent specimen. If anyone was supposed to be your ear, this boy would be something that would always be spoke about in legends. Those words made Minato felt horrible, but he kept his emotions in check. Time skip. Minato Namikaze came home, smiling to his son and daughter, talking about their day. Mito was on a team with 2 other girls. Their sensei was a man known as Yamato, specialized in a very powerful bloodline release. Yamato was honored to be their sensei. Team 7 and Team 12. His 2 children were coming along great. However, despite everything, what he did what they did. Well, what he agreed to. Breaking Naruto's mind. Rewriting his entire reality. Rewriting his sense of living, erasing the person that he once was. As he got ready for bed, lying down beside his wife, he could see that she was bothered, that she wanted to talk about something. He gave her a tired smile. He's been faking it a lot lately. Something on your mind? He could see it in her eyes. I'm fine, she said. Come on, Kushina. Don't you think I know you better than that? She sighed, tiredly. It's just... How is he? She said. You don't want to know. I do, she said. And I told you don't. I told you the decision that we were going to make. And I told you that it wasn't going to be pretty. That is why we kept it away from them. That is why we told them that they will not know either. And I'm saving you from having to think about something like that. But it's weighing on you. I know it's hard, but you're going to tell me because it's the only way to release some of the stress that is on your head. How far has it gone? How is he doing? She said. Why do you want to know now? He said to her. You've already washed your hands of him. It's not... Just forget about him. Things have gone too far to be repaired. They will never be the same. I know what you're doing, she said. Stop it. You're trying to get me to stop talking about this, but just tell me, okay? Listen to me. It's bad. Just take my word for it, he said to her. I don't care. Tell me. You shouldn't be the only one suffering with this. I agree to it as well. Minato sighed. We reprogram his brain. He's no longer the same person that he is. We've stripped away his identity, his purpose. He's nothing but a hollow shell right now. A former person of what he... If I can even call him a person. But in doing this, we save everyone around us. Kushina was quiet. I told you, you didn't want to know. And you shouldn't be the only one suffering with this. We were warned by the toads. And when he was there, the toad wanted him to die. We did the right thing, right? Yes, we did, said Minato. They told themselves that because it was the only way to say what they did was right, erasing the son that they once had. But his mind could not be functional once again, in a normal way. He was no longer a human anymore, just a puppet, to be controlled by Konoha, to be trained, to be monitored, to be used to take down their enemies. On every single occasion, Minato had people down there watching Danzo to make sure that there was no initial, commands that Danzo could use. Naruto against him or the village. He still did not trust the man in the slightest. As the time went by, the rookie teams were signed up for the exams. Outside interference made their way. In more ways than one, teams from across the nations, even Kumo, none from the Land of Stone though, made their way to Konoha for the Chunin exams. Ayame and her father would be there for it all. For the outsiders to taste their ramen, her father saw how sad she's been lately, trying to get her to go out with some of her friends. But she's neglected a lot of her friends lately, for her friendship with Naruto, and the situation that was going on now. It's been weeks, and the one that spoke to her hasn't said a single word since. She hasn't seen him, she hasn't heard anything from him. Made her believe that there was no hope. She was constantly worried. Just what was going on? What were they doing to Naruto? Her mind was stressing about it every single time. Orochimaru, on the other hand, he laid waste to the Kazekage, killing him without hesitation. The man wanted to go back on their deal, but things weren't about to change. Thus, Orochimaru now had the sand under his control. Many other small entities out there wanted Minato dead, and they had the backing of multiple powerful people. There were even some from the Hidden Stone. Oniki forbade them from messing with Konoha, not wanting to start something, but there were those that were disloyal because they believed that Oniki was weak. Given how much they lost during the last war, they weren't willing to let it go. Orochimaru plotted and schemed, knowing that stepping foot in Konoha before the time might result in something detrimental for him. While that was going on, Menma was facing a kunoichi from Kumo. She had weird senbons that she used like they were swords. They were long. Menma clashed with her, kunai against senbon. They danced around the arena. The problem was her speed was not on his level. He got behind her and swept her leg away. He then grabbed her arm and flipped her in mid-air, dropping her into the pavement. As he placed a kunai at her neck, "It's over." She smirked though. "For you." Her body dissolved into lightning, shocking Menma as she stood tall as he collapsed down to his knees. "I win." By defeating who, he questioned. She blinked in shock as a kunai was placed at her throat, the Menma on the ground poofing away. She had to surrender. She couldn't do anything. Mito opponent hailed from the grass. The ninja, confident and cocky, believing that a girl wouldn't be that strong. Doesn't matter who she was. It just took a moment for her to bind him in chains. He was begging to be released. They were given 1 month to train, 1 month to prepare. Each of them venturing off into different avenues, learning not just from one but from multiple people. Sasuke also made it as well. Sakura failed. Another one of Mito's teammates made it. They were all going for the finals. As the days ticked by, they trained. The more time passed, the more they were forgetting about Naruto. And that is the way things should be. At the moment, Kushina sat at the park. She was alone. She was watching the children. Since her conversation with Minato, her dreams had been plagued by Naruto. It was when he was 9 years old, screaming and begging out for them to help him. When he apologized that he was sorry. When he told them that he will never hurt them ever again. When he told them that he was okay now. Tears in her eyes. Kushina looked towards the children playing. She was his mother. He's done horrible things. But she swore him off before that because she was afraid. That night, that look in his eyes. Perhaps a part of her truly did. Only wanted to look after the other two because they were Jinchurikis like her. What kind of person does that? What kind of human being thinks like that? It doesn't matter now. Things were never going to change. At the moment, Naruto was locked away. He was placed in a strange cylinder. There were machines over him testing his vitals. Minato, even Danzo realized that Naruto wasn't ready for outside interference just yet. They had broken his mind. He was too empty, like a blank piece of paper trying to repair itself. They were rebuilding it. That is what they were doing. They couldn't release him just yet. They had to properly structure his mind. Danzo was aware that he was being watched constantly, but this boy was a perfect weapon. Danzo, from what he saw, believed that Naruto alone, if he had him under his control, he could take Konoha. He just had to master all these abilities and learn exactly what those eyes were capable of. Naruto's mind was being reprogrammed within the cylinder. He was placed in it on the day when the attack happened. Deep within, a different section not within the root base. Ayam was currently making her way. As she had returned from the bathroom, her and her father was there. People get hungry during these things, as the finals were taking place. However, she was stopped. A paper was placed in her hand. Meet me there. I shall bring you to him. Ayam was stunned. The person vanished as she looked at the note, the location. She did not hesitate, making her way. If there was a chance to free Naruto, she will do it. By the time she got there though, there was an explosion. She believed that it was the festivities, that someone simply got a bit overzealous. Moments later, the person finally arrived. She was stunned though it was an Anvu. Don't worry. I am the one that will bring you to salvation and help you free your friend. She saw his white hair. Follow me. He led her to a strange location. It was underground. He used a special technique. The both of them to travel, not a long distance just. She was confused what was going on, where they were going. She wanted to free Naruto so much that she put so much trust in this individual, not even knowing who exactly he was. However, she knew that the Hokage was up to no good. Saying that she would never see Naruto again, she refused to accept that. She was taken to a location underground. She felt the explosions. The person waved it off. That was nothing but the tuning exams. Stay here, he said. She heard the ruckus up ahead. She stepped out, only to see him standing there. She saw the unconscious bodies, well at least she hoped, on the ground, masks on their faces. However, several more emerged. Before anything could be said and done though, there was an explosion right above, right on time. White bones stabbed right through them, killing them instantly. This was no random move. This was months of planning, months of gathering information, months of allowing the Hokage to think that he was a part of his main security detail. Kabuto was one of the greatest spies this world has ever had. There was no doubt about that. There had to be help. The full interstructure of the underground department was not something that he knew 100% due to, well, security being too high. So Orochimaru sent one of his best, Kimimaro, a very deadly individual. Majority of their focus was placed on, well, the invasion. I wonder what the hell was going on. Who was this guy? Don't worry, he's with us. They went deeper and deeper and deeper, taking out all those who stood in their way. She started to question what the hell she was doing and who was these people. She let her emotions for Naruto clouded her judgment. However, that changed when she saw him. Tears in her eyes. Naruto was trapped inside of some container. She rushed towards it, trying to pry it open, but she was stopped a moment later. What is this? Kimimaro said. Kabuto had no idea how to undo these seals. This was specially locked. He gazed over towards the monitor. Everything was functional and working. This place was never supposed to be breached this easily. Then again, majority of the help were now on the top, assisting with the invasion. Perfect timing. Aya moved back towards the cylinder. "What have they done to you?" she said. She rested her hand on it. "Naruto." Suddenly, the monitor started to skyrocket. Boom! The entire thing exploded. Jumping away, Kabuto and Kimimaro landing over to the side. Ayan blinked several times. Someone was holding her. She did not understand what just happened. That thing exploded and yet she was unharmed. Minato and Namikaze arrived. Just a moment later, Kabuto and Kimimaro were shocked. The seals. He was notified. This was not the real Minato though. It was a clone. A clone that was teleported down here to find out what is going on. The real one was busy. When the smoke and dust cleared, Naruto was standing there, his eyes hollow and empty. He was holding Ayam. She looked up towards him. "Naruto," she said, afraid of the look in his eyes. It seems like he wasn't him anymore. "What is going on?" "What have you done?" said Minato, looking towards her and gazing towards the two behind him. Something was wrong though. As Naruto's eyes started to change, that empty look vanishing away. The sensation, the life returned back to his eyes. "Naruto," she said, her voice shaky. "Sorry I was gone for so long." Minato's stomach dropped as Naruto seemed fully aware, but that was impossible. They broke his mind. "Hello there, father," Naruto said. What the hell was going on? But guys, be ends episode right here. If you want to see this part, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. But I'm out for now. Peace.